Well, as Brianna mentioned, I'm the president of the Interfaith Council of Mexico, and the Interfaith Council of Mexico was founded in 1991, driven by a spirit of open doors, understanding, and promoting tolerance among other religious groups within the Mexican society. We have been involved in activities that promote peaceful coexistence, justice, freedom, and human rights. We have always sought fraternity and good relationships of dialogue with other religious groups, but at the same time, we have shown our disagreement when there are those who try to establish legalistic interference in the lives of those who are not even part of their communities. When religious meddles in the secular state, the result can be catastrophic. As a religious organization, we have always been respectful of our civil authorities, and we try to collaborate with them on matters that are of common interest. We act together to establish bonds of brotherhood among all citizens, but never to divide or discriminate certain sectors of the population based on a way of thinking and believing. Keeping this in mind, we think that no one should be obliged to act against their own religious or philosophical beliefs. We respect our country and its government, and through our fraternal bonds, we worked together to achieve a good growth and development of relations among all human beings, believers and non-believers. Every religious group possesses an abundant treasure of ethical values whose practice is projected towards the happiness of every human being. This treasure must be put in common because we must know that the values and not the dogmas are what unite us in bonds of peace. In aspects of a civil life, what most remain are the universal values that are common to all humanity, believers and non-believers. That is why I firmly believe in the total separation of religious groups with the state. This doesn't mean the elimination of the right that every person has to profess a particular faith, but to provide a space of integrity and respect of others without imposing a common faith to a whole country or state. Our job as religious guides are to carry out the task of caring, advising, and spreading our beliefs to those who are looking for our particular way of worship, but without interfering with matters that are only the responsibility of the secular state. We know that the duty of the state is to promote the common good, promote human dignity, promote the integral formation of citizens, and build public life. And it is in this sense that as religious groups, we have a place to get involved. So the best way in which we can collaborate with the authorities of the state as religious groups is by promoting justice, love, and peace among every person in order to foster the universal values that unite all citizens in bonds of harmony and happiness. Our duty as religious bodies is to provide attention to the spiritual and sometimes material needs of the people. These centers of reconciliation, of moral and spiritual support for all, but not places of discrimination when people do not think as we do. Regarding the educational sector, for example, in the case of Mexico, We respect what is established by Constitution of our country in keeping public education secular. Therefore, any religious line of thought should not be imposed or taught to students. It is very important that schools teach universal values such as respect, understanding, charity, responsibility, love, etc., because these are the values that unite us as human beings, no matter what each one of us believes or professes. Rather, religious teaching must be at home and in churches or spiritual communities, but not in public schools. In the 16th century in England, Queen Elizabeth I said, "I am not willing to open windows in the consciousness of my subjects." And I guess that neither the state nor any religious group should have the right to open windows in anyone's consciousness. Education must be totally secular, and what each person believes or professes must be respected, not imposing on anyone a certain form of religious thought or practice. Regarding other matters, in secular country, religious ministers should not hold public positions and not use their voice to promote a particular political party or oppose the laws of the state. In conclusion, it is very important and much needed as religious groups to have the full right to our freedom of worship in order to serve others, promoting justice, peace, and love, doing reconciliating work in the world, loving and serving our people, and caring for young and old, of strong and weak, of rich and poor, the sick and the lonely. We are here to serve and respect all people, regardless of race, religion, political conviction, or socioeconomic status. We need to support the human freedom to think and believe according to their own convictions if they are based on the values of respecting the dignity of every human being. So to conclude, I agree on the following. Yes to the total separation of religious groups with the state, and yes to guarantee human rights as a set of prerogatives based on promoting respect for human dignity. Human rights are worth to fight. Thank you.